I think my battery went out. But yeah, it was just like like it was just like the judge knew about like a lot of things, but she needed to like ask a certain question to get the answer that she needed because she was taking notes too. Most judges take a lot of notes. But yeah, there was some caught in the weed situations where somebody would be like, ask a question to the prosecution, and it was yes, no, blah blah blah, and then it was like another tangent, and we were just like, where the fuck are you taking us? Like this is not Twitter. But anyway, it was just so funny to see the reaction to the crowd that was watching us, as well as the judge's questions a lot of times. Like, the judge would ask the same questions as my attorney was. And I just thought it was funny. Um, let's see. I'm gonna probably, like, reread some stuff, but that's just for, to put us all back into the thing. We have a lover, boyfriend, husband that takes you shopping. We have seeking love, manifesting love, personal ads. We have twins. We have new love relationship expansion and material success, financial success, business leader, successful sale, getting more than you bargained for, loving your business expansion and material success, business negotiation, financial planning, business contract. Online course rely on charity, a non-profit organization, writing out the hard times, feeling low in spirit, fatigue, helping others, hardship making you stronger, selling art, selling inspiration, the beauty industry. Basically, that's all I do is the beauty industry stuff. It makes you feel better about yourself after you watch my videos, and it helps some people. It might not help everybody, but it makes you feel good. But there's large charity manifestation, a scientist, bad weather. We had rain, wind, sunshine, all at the same time during this case. I mean, it was like crazy. The lights went out at one point during the case, and it was right before we went up to do the trial. And it blew out like the whole grid of the top area in which we were at. It was scary. It was some Frankenstein shit though. But yeah, they got the lights back on and everything worked out. But like the weather was terrible. Um After my case, it was just really windy. We saw a wedding procession that got married at the courthouse. Beautiful couple. I wish them the best. Um, and it was just a lovely day after that. Like, it was just wind, rain. Somebody got married. That little bit of rain was good luck for them, I guess. But it, like, the grid went down for like an hour there. It was weird. Um 30 minutes to an hour maybe. But it was weird. Like it was just like a lot of little things that made the big picture that much better. Okay? So, we have making a, a incisive decision, manifesting love, ready for love, not noticing love, trying to decide where to place your charity or clarity. And we also have earning a wage and we have researching. So, with everything going on that day, um, I can honestly say this. The judge knew everything that happened. Point blank, period. The only thing the judge didn't know was the truth behind the group. And when that was revealed through the constant questioning of the witness, it all came out. Like, it all came out because a judge wanted to know the answer, and when a judge asks you a question, you have to answer it. No holds barred. You can't just dismiss the question. Because she wanted to know. I wanted to know. But, yeah. And there was other things that were asked from the judge, from the even prosecution side. The DA had a lot of questions for their own subject. Let's put it that way. But yeah, because they wanted to have consistency in the questions. There was a lot of inconsistencies, like I said. My little kittens are over there. Yeah, we found a lot of kittens around April 2nd. I don't know, we had like a bad storm and there was just a family of kittens that got caught up in it, so I don't know whose kittens these are, but if you have a picture of these kittens, you can have them back. It's just, I didn't want them in the rain or near some raccoons or something. But yeah, I found like a whole family of cats outside. And I'm a cat facility that takes in cats for the animal control people when they have overstock. But yeah, I had to register those babies. But anyway, there was a lot to do that day. I was just exhausted, like mentally, physically, and then I found kittens that were wandering around. Had to bring them in, make sure they were registered with the state of North Carolina. Um, but yeah, everything came together. I saw lunar moths the night before. I saw a lot of ladybugs in my room after the fact. I found a lot of bugs on the way in. I found my millipede that I made a little cabin in the woods for. Um, it just worked out. Like everything I cared about came together in one thing, and I just had to go to trial. Like, I had to have that resolve, that gravity that kept me to the ground. Um, with a lot of cases, you're gonna have cases where it's gonna be a plea deal. Um, my advice is I would ride the wave of a trial. The rewards are better. The feeling of relief is better. And the buildup is better. Because you don't know what the prosecution's going to throw your way. If you're the defense, I would just sit back, be quiet, try not to make too much eye contact with the judge. I would make eye contact with the prosecution because they're gonna side glance you anyway. All right, but sometimes you have to ride the wave of that, where it's just uncomfortable for the prosecution to be in a different area, to be on the stand, to be away from people that give them comfort. They would say anything to be comfortable again, and that's honest to God. Um, with me, I already know what I'm gonna say. Like, I can do public speaking and not even know who the hell I'm talking to, you know? I could do that all day. Like, my mom thought that I would be a stand-up comedian, but I like debating too much, so I might be president or something. But yeah, I would recommend that you ride the wave of a trial. If somebody's like trying to give you a plea deal or they're trying to put something on the table that's money oriented, they have a lot to lose. And if you take it to trial, you have the total power of controlling your own destiny, and you could probably get more money than what they're offering you, and they know that. And it's usually a prosecution that's trying to make a deal with you ahead of schedule when they have nothing. So, like, they didn't want to go to trial. They told us that, in the first 5 minutes of us entering the courtroom, they wanted to put it on continuance and draw this out. But, like, there was things that I needed to be put on record in April before it got into the year, you know. There was a lot of things that were sampled from that case that are probably going to be used as evidence in other cases that are related to that. And it would change the law. Okay, that's why I do these trial things. To impact the economy. Okay. The reason why a court case would affect the economy is because they would have to change a law to make you, the homeowner, or you, the person that pays taxes, feel better about paying taxes. They will change laws in order for you to pay taxes. You understand that? And it doesn't have to do to any ability of your own or have to do with taxes, to be honest with you. If you feel good about the law and the state that you live in, you're going to pay taxes willingly. It's a weird psychology, but yeah, that's what they always are going to do for people in the states that you live in the United States. Because if you feel comfortable, they're gonna, you know, continue doing what they're doing until there's kind of a blockade, put it to you that way. And that's what's happening right now. If you're going into court and you're thinking, hey, I don't want to go to trial, I would ride the wave because you're going to be affecting history. And your case could bring up different aspects of yourself. I would just hire an attorney to present information to a judge earlier on, and maybe some other things that are of importance. Because this ridiculousness of just throwing anything on the table is ridiculous. They were trying to blackmail me for having an OnlyFans account that took pictures of feet. What I do on my OnlyFans account is nobody's business, to be honest with you. But I wanted to put that out there because I had nothing to hide. You understand? And she had the paperwork and everything of every station I had. The judge did. Which I thought was more of a comforting thing where, like, it would be stricken from record if anything was brought up on that, which it was. So, yeah, I had my court case tied in a knot, I think. Not in a bow, in a knot, because, I don't know. It just felt that way, you know. It was like you had to tie one knot, and then you had to tie another knot. Kind of like a sailor's tie or something. Sailor's knot. But, yeah, I think it was fine for what it was. My attorneys were brilliant. Like, I couldn't have asked for a better team of people on my side. I couldn't have asked for a better day to do all this. And everything aligned. Like the trial that was supposed to be done on April 2nd was pushed back because a eyewitness was ill with corona. Because they have asthma, they can't have like the vaccination, so that was postponed for that reason. Also, a videotape had to be played that witness had. That would have had evidence on it, that would have had a description, and would have had a full view of whatever. So, that was interesting. But, yeah, it just aligned right. I was just like, yeah, let's go to trial. I'm not taking a plea deal from somebody I don't like. You know what I mean? Or I don't know for that matter. I was just like, this is ridiculous. You can't buy the game out and then expect people to respect you after that, because I would put you on blast, you know. But if anybody gives you a plea deal, they have a lot to lose. They're not doing you any favors, especially if you didn't ask for it. But if you ask for it, maybe it's a better idea that you go with the plea deal if you ask for it, you know. But usually with plea deals, there's always some grimy shit underneath the table, you know. They were trying to keep face and keep doing what they were doing. And now they have a restraining order against. Um, well, I do. I have a restraining order against the neighborhood group. You know, they can't be on my property, about my property, within 20 feet of my property. So I think that was good for what it was. They were trying to say I did something, I didn't do anything. But, yeah, it was just everything aligned. It was right. I had this paper that I gave my attorney. He doesn't really like tarot readings, but he was funny about it. He was sport about it. He was like, "What does your premonition say today?" And I just gave him my piece of paper. He reviewed it before the case. He was like, "Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I think we should go to trial." And then we got that plea deal out of nowhere. Um, I don't know. Like, we were talking about it. We're like, "Do you think that they're going to give us a plea deal?" I said, "Probably, because they're trying to hide something." But it was to gain access. That's why they gave us the plea deal in the first place. They were trying to be nice, and then, like, you owe us and all this shit. I already know their game. I didn't want to play the game. I don't trust people that have hatred against me, you know. I'm not gonna fuck around and find out. I would rather have them go to trial and show their true form instead of this mask that they wear, like, everybody's my friend and everybody loves me and I'm gonna take this. Like, really, it was just sick. Like, there's only so much you can take from people that have, um, you know, ulterior motives to dupe other people into something else or to take the blame or whatever. I don't take the fall for anybody. After going to prison for something I didn't commit in the first fucking place, I was like, they're really trying to play me for a fool. I'm not Boo Boo the Fool, and I'm not Chicken George. I don't know who the hell they think I am. But I was willing to take it distance it needed to go, in order to paint them as the person they were. They were jealous, envious. They were taking advantage of people. They were using my name in some of their BS. And I didn't okay anything. They were making me out to be the bad guy that was running this team, and I wasn't. Um, I'm too nice for that. Like, I can't run a gang. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm too nice of a person. If anything, I would probably be like a side character in a gang because of my, you know, of my connections. But I would never be like the mafia gangster that's running the whole damn thing. Because I myself don't gravitate towards that type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, I myself know myself well enough to know if everybody else is fucking doing it, I'm gonna take the road less traveled. Like, that's how I've always been. I've been the rebel without applause, but I love that about me. Like, I'll explore, I'll find things that I enjoy. I'll be happy with my day. I love bugs. I love seeing rocks go into water. I'm a child at heart. I love that shit. But I just can't get into, like, the fucking politics of bullshit. That doesn't make any sense. Like, you're gonna go great lengths to prove a point that you're an asshole. Like, I don't get that. With me, myself, and I would rather be in a field, on the beach, metal detecting, shit like that. Seeing deer, seeing a fucking bear. I've seen a bear before. Fucking terrifying, but in awe. Love that shit. But I would rather be in nature like my Native American relatives were so many years ago. They would interact with animals. They would see animals injured and help them out. Be medicine people. Find out about, like, natural healers and, native species and things. Like, I don't understand like what jealousy you have against me, but the fact that I enjoy my day, that I have connections with other people, that I talk about avant-garde things that I've experienced in my life. I walked fucking Blue Ridge Parkway when I was 18 for my 18th birthday. It was cold, it was freezing, saw bears, saw deer, saw other things that I didn't know what they were, saw a hedgehog of all things, and saw some other things. But I love seeing shit like that. I love being in nature. I love going on hikes. I just love seeing things that are, that would have you in awe. I've seen things on Native American reservations that white people don't see every day. I've seen blue oceans that nobody will ever see. I've seen temples, tombs, caves, things that are just amazing to see that nobody else is going to get to see because it's on a reservation. Like, it's just amazing, you know. I would rather have, like, more nature preserves around neighborhoods than fucking parks. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you want a state park? You should have it as a native reservation. So we can put back native plants, grasses, things to that effect, so that we can get buffalo back in the wild, we can get mustangs back in the wild, we can get rabbits back in the wild, um, and have certain plants that would be moist enough to take on desert land, like moss or um, desert grass or prairie grass or um, savage lettuce. Has anybody seen savage lettuce? It looks like a prickly version of dandelions, but it grows everywhere. If you had more of that, you wouldn't have forest fires, but nobody knows that. Um, but yeah, I love that stuff. I love knowing about natural healing and people and stuff in general. But, like, you know, I just love being native with it, and I love being around stuff I like to do. Like, exploring, finding people. Like, I can do this all day. Like, I don't really care. Like, it's an adventure for me. Like, I'm going to connect with people through this, this experience. I don't take people's word for it. I always want to see, like, what if this happened and we just see what happens. Like, I don't really care about the outcome because I need information to go through. The power of information and knowledge helps fuel the future. And it gives new life to something that was either mundane or wasn't working in the first place. And if you're too scared to put yourself out there and actually put the information through, then you shouldn't be amongst the human beings that actually like to be going forward into the future. Like, I don't really see information as a bad thing. I don't see information as a good thing either. I see information as a reliable source of information, whether it be whatever information it could be. Put in the right devices, it's better. It could be a safer thing. It could be putting in better safeties, better Amber Alerts, better things like that. I mean, nothing is too small to be considered a trial. Like, um, it helps because anything that's put in a trial is put on like a fish. Um, what is that? Fish film. Fish film is like the old Kodak film. Um, for records. So, like, they can look back in history and see what it was about and what the conversations were and things like that. But on microfiche, that's what it's called. It's it's the film that they put into, like, the projection screen. Like, you can just use a light in a box and you can just see what the whole transition of things were. Um, It's like a shadow box with a light in it. But yeah, I mean, there has to be something more than mundane. And if somebody's paying you off because you're really setting the bar higher than it should be, do that. Um, you're not wrong. Because if somebody's offering you to stop, there's something in your Kool-Aid that's too good to be true. All right. And it would hurt other people maybe, but I wouldn't worry about it. I think if you feel it necessary to go to trial, go to trial. If you feel it necessary to do whatever, I would weigh the risk. With me, the risk was very high. I had no winning cards in my deck except for my attorneys and my evidence. And I was just going to see what happened. I wasn't looking for a win. Let's put it to you that way. I was looking for the fact my information would go through. That was the victory of the day. Was my information going through, because nobody can mess with the information that a judge has that's going to be put into a evidence thing. A lot of my other cases and concerns were pushed under the table. The only thing that I had as reference was a lot of photos. I had photos of every form I ever wrote on, I signed, I even had in my possession. There was a piece of paper that they wanted me to sign, this group, that would take away my inheritance, my future inheritance, and anything I got from a marriage, or like childbirth. Like if I had kids and like I had a party or a baby shower for them, I couldn't use anything there. They would just like have the right to have like a police officer take them from me. And I read this entire contract within a minute because of course I can read fast. I write every day. And I was just like, this is ridiculous. You mean to tell me that you are so unqualified of being your own fucking person you had to take from other people? And I sent this to my attorney. He read it and he was disgusted. He showed that to a judge immediately, and that was like a couple years ago. But you have to honestly be jealous, envious, and a fucking wank to fucking even put that into a fucking contract piece of paper. I was just like jealousy at its finest, and that's why I tell you that jealousy is a toxic trait. It takes on a life of its own. It makes you into like the pariah. It's disgusting. It's a disgusting trait to have, and if people knew what you were up to when you were on a jealous fucking binger, you would look like a crazy person. Showing a judge that piece of paper of signing away my rights to my inheritance and anything I would get from my kids or my family was disgusting. And it was 3 pages long. And they were trying to make me sign this while my cat was poisoned. I had a black cat, Tupac Shakur, named him after the rapper in his honor. That cat was the most loving, nice cat. He sung to me. He was just the best cat ever.